The enigmatic death of late South African Minister Nathi Mthethwa has turned a scandalous and profoundly disquieting corner as recently emerged CCTV footage indicates he had company during the pivotal hours preceding his death by falling from the 22nd floor of a Paris hotel. This discovery has reignited intense national controversy, provoked public outrage, and thrown fresh shadows across one of the most mystifying and politically prominent deaths in recent history. Informed sources close to the probe say that CCTV cameras placed across the corridors, lifts, and lobby of the high-end hotel caught a string of movements that detectives have labeled as unusual and profoundly suspicious. Paris police sources verify that the footage, now being analyzed forensically, reveals an otherwise unknown individual entering and leaving Mthethwa's hotel room on several occasions in the brief time prior to his death. The actions of the figure, with their speed and systematic nature, indicate a level of familiarity with the setting and possibly a particular purpose in being present. Detectives opine that the timing of these incursions and exits is strictly in tandem with the last moments before Mthethwa died, an incident too stark to be written off as mere coincidence. This enigmatic individual has yet to be named publicly, but initial reports suggest that he may have information vital to uncovering what actually happened that evening. This has left police and the general public with the question, was this individual an accomplice, a witness, or an innocent person whose presence was wrongly mistaken for something nefarious? The police investigation has now been concentrated on these urgent questions. Employees at the hotel have stepped forward to validate parts of the CCTV evidence, with multiple staff members reporting suspicious activity in front of Mthethwa's room in the hours leading up to the tragedy. A few witnesses remembered a guest or employee-like person hanging around the hallway, while some mention unusual elevator use that seemed to match the time seen on the security video. Adding to the complexity, internal security records show that keycards were swiped in patterns that didn't fit standard hotel use, suggesting that premeditated and perhaps surreptitious movements were being made on that floor throughout the evening. These anomalies have raised suspicions of foul play and compelled the authorities to explore the possibility that Mthethwa may not have died by accident. As these bombshells emerged, social media descended into a whirlwind of rumors. Within a matter of hours, hashtags surrounding the case had gone viral across the world. South Africans and global observers alike found themselves analyzing the unfolding facts, speculating on who the enigmatic individual could be and what his possible role might have been. Political commentators have questioned whether Mthethwa's demise can be attributed to long-standing conflicts, internal political rivalries, or even clandestine activities that he might have been engaged in. Speculation is rife on internet forums, with some users listing suspects and others calling for openness from both South African and French authorities. Reporters from around the world are now scrambling to verify information, following up tips from sources within police and diplomatic circles as they struggle to make sense of the murky images captured on film. The Police de Paris, responding to international media, said that a full forensic analysis was underway. "We are treating this very seriously," a high-ranking officer briefed reporters. CCTV evidence shows exchanges that need close examination. "Nothing will be taken for granted in our search for the truth." According to sources, investigators are said to be checking every frame of footage, dissecting timestamps, and cross-checking video with hotel keycard information, security check-ins, and witness accounts to build an accurate timeline of what happened. French forensic scientists have also reportedly been employing facial recognition software to attempt to recognize the unidentified person in the video, a task which can take weeks, considering the quality of the footage and the number of cameras used. At the same time, the political atmosphere in South Africa has become increasingly fraught. Opposition leaders are calling for complete transparency from both governments and demanding that all CCTV evidence be made public immediately. Political leaders from all sides have appealed for restraint while calling for accountability. "This is not a question of one man's death," declared one opposition spokesman. "It is all about justice, transparency, and the right of people to know what actually happened to one of their previous ministers." Analysts alert that if evidence comes to light implicating this nameless person in connection with any political leader or influential group, it might create a scandal capable of shaking the foundations of South African politics. The case of Dera, now already marred by allegations and suspicion, teeters on the brink of transforming into an all-out national crisis. Political and crime analysts have started opining on what this turn could imply for the inquiry. It's not just the fact that a second person was there, but it completely changes the narrative that has been built, said Johannesburg-based criminologist Dr. Legonilai during a television interview. If Minister Dera wasn't alone, it changes everything. It opens the door to questioning about coercion, confrontation, or even an orchestrated setup. It's no longer merely a tragic tumble, it becomes a matter of intent and motive. Other specialists have spoken similarly, with some indicating that the video could be indicative of a wider web of influence, one with both political and personal connotations. As the probe goes deeper, the hotel in question, previously a representation of Parisian decadence, is now at the eye of a worldwide media maelstrom. Journalists have taken up positions outside its doors, waiting for snatches of sight of detectives or possible witnesses. Guests report an unsettling atmosphere of foreboding, with increased security and limited access to higher floors. French authorities, mindful of diplomatic niceties, have declined to issue official comments beyond confirmation of the investigation's advancement. Within South Africa, Dera's family has kept a quiet dignity, though close friends say they are quietly calling for justice and openness, refusing to accept political spin or lack of clear explanations. Meanwhile, back in Pretoria, government leaders are said to be watching closely. The president's office has appealed for restraint and urged cooperation with French authorities, while intelligence agencies are said to be running their own parallel investigations. Leaked documents indicate that Dera might have been meeting with people connected to big government contracts just before his Paris trip, raising yet another question about an already intricate case. The fact that there was someone else present has only fueled speculation that Dera's death could be connected with sensitive political or financial transactions. Reactions from overseas have come in quickly. Human rights groups are calling on France and South Africa to deal with the case openly and honestly, warning that even a whiff of a cover-up would gravely erode public confidence. Media networks in Europe and Africa have given the story primetime attention, each disclosing new allegations, leaks, and contradictory expert views. Meanwhile, everyday citizens both in Paris and back in South Africa are glued to their screens, mesmerized by a tale that reads more like a political thriller than reality. As weeks become months, conspiracy theories keep piling up. Each new leak, rumor, or scrap of evidence fuels another round of speculation and argument. What was initially perceived to be a tragic accident is now being handled as a case riddled with deception, secrecy, and potential foul play. The notion that Nathi Mthethwa was not alone when he died has changed the public's perception of his passing, compelling the country to confront difficult realities that extend far beyond one man's destiny. One undeniable fact remains: the CCTV footage has opened a Pandora's box of intrigue and uncertainty. With investigators working tirelessly and the public demanding justice, the world watches as each new revelation inches closer to exposing what truly happened in that Paris hotel room. The search for truth is relentless and far from over.